I used to believe love meant trust. That when you said, I do, you were saying forever. But forever lasted just 2 years for me, until I learned my husband, Daniel, still loved his ex-girlfriend, Emily. He didn't just miss her. He was planning to divorce me right after he transferred the house, my dream home, into his name. The house I paid for, the life I built. Before we start, make sure you subscribe, comment below if you've ever been betrayed by someone you loved, and hit that like button. Because what you're about to hear isn't just karma, it's smart revenge served cold. The night I found out about Daniel's secret, it wasn't dramatic. No shouting, no catching him in bed with her. It was just me, standing in the quiet of our apartment, staring at his iPad screen as my world collapsed. He was in the shower. Steam filled the air. And that's when I saw it, her name, Emily. At first, I told myself it was nothing. Maybe a work email, a casual hello. But then I saw the preview. Once the house is in your name, you'll finally be free. I can't wait to start over with you. My hand froze midair. My heart pounded so hard it drowned out the water running behind the door. I opened the message thread, and the truth unfolded like a knife in slow motion. She doesn't suspect anything. I'll tell her once the papers are signed. We'll sell the house, split the money, and start fresh in LA. Every word sliced deeper. The man I'd built a home with was already planning to destroy it. I looked at my reflection in the dark glass of the window, my eyes red, my lips trembling, and I whispered, "You have no idea what you've just started." When Daniel came out of the shower, he smiled at me, the same way he always did. He kissed my cheek, said, "What's for dinner, babe?" And I smiled back. That night I didn't cry, I didn't scream. Because crying would mean weakness, and I wasn't weak. Not anymore. That was the night I stopped being Daniel's wife and started becoming his lesson. For the next few weeks, I became everything he thought I was: soft, trusting, naive. I woke early, cooked breakfast, texted him sweet little notes during work, even helped him plan our future. I was method acting the role of the perfect wife, while inside, my heart was turning to stone. He mentioned the house paperwork casually, like it was nothing. "Babe, my accountant said it'd be better if the title, under one name, just for tax reasons." "Of course, honey," I'd reply with a smile that hid a storm. Behind the scenes, I was digging. Late at night, while he slept, I went through his files, his emails, his calendar. He wasn't even careful, that's how confident he was that I'd never look. And that's how I found her name again. Emily Carter. The woman before me, the woman he once claimed was toxic. I found flight bookings to LA, dinner reservations in Brooklyn, a hotel receipt with 2 guests. He had been seeing her for months, while telling me he was working late. My chest ached, but I stayed silent. Because silence is power. And I needed mine. I started taking photos, forwarding messages to my personal email, printing records, securing digital copies. Every lie he told became evidence. Every kiss he gave became proof of manipulation. At dinner one night, he took my hand and said, "You're too good for me, you know that." And I smiled back, replying softly, "You'll realize how true that is soon." I met with Samantha Cruz, a divorce attorney I found through a client. She was fierce, calm, and had that quiet confidence only women who have seen too much betrayal carry. We met in a small cafe in Soho. I told her everything: the texts, the affair, the property transfer. She listened carefully, tapping her pen against her notebook. Then she looked up and said, "He's trying to take everything, but you can make sure he walks away with nothing." I blinked. "How?" Her lips curved into a knowing smile. "Let him think he's winning. Sign the papers, but we'll make sure what he's signing isn't what he thinks." Together, we crafted a set of documents, legally airtight, but written in a way that reversed ownership. To Daniel, it would look like I was transferring the property into his name. In reality, it made me the sole owner. Samantha leaned in, eyes fierce. "He won't read the fine print. Men like him never do. They just want the victory. When I walked home that day, I felt the city moving differently. Every sound, the sirens, the chatter, the noise, felt like background music to my awakening. That night, Daniel handed me a folder. "Here, babe, just sign these. We'll be done with all the boring stuff." I looked him in the eye, smiled, and said, "Anything for you." I signed the papers, the ones I'd rewritten. He kissed me, whispering, "You have no idea how much this means to me." Oh, I did. More than he'd ever imagine. Emily started reappearing like a ghost. First, I saw her name flash on his phone again. Then, a red lipstick stain on his shirt. He said it was from a coworker's birthday hug. I almost laughed. I hired a private investigator through Samantha. Within days, I had what I needed: photos of Daniel and Emily together at a restaurant, her hand brushing his arm, his fingers resting on her knee. Another photo showed them entering a hotel, and one of them kissing under a streetlight. I printed them out and placed them in a plain white envelope. I didn't label it. I didn't hide it either. I just left it in the drawer where he kept his watches. Let him find it when he least expected it. Because revenge isn't just about destruction. It's about anticipation. One evening, he came home unusually cheerful. He hugged me, spinning me in his arms. "Guess what? Once the house is fully transferred, we can take that trip we've been talking about. A fresh start, babe." "That sounds lovely," I said, resting my head on his shoulder. "A fresh start." In my mind, I added, "just not for you." As weeks passed, Daniel grew careless. He'd come home late, smelling like someone else's perfume. His lies became lazy. And the guilt started cracking his mask. One night, I found him in the kitchen, drinking whiskey alone. "Everything okay?" I asked gently. He looked up startled. "Yeah, just work stress." I nodded, touching his shoulder. "I'm proud of you, you know." He looked at me strangely, maybe wondering why I was so calm. That's what scared him, calm women, because calm means danger. A few days later, he got a call in the middle of dinner. I saw her name, Emily Red, flash across the screen. He panicked, muting the call, mumbling something about office emergencies. I pretended not to notice, but I was smiling inside. Because my trap was tightening. Samantha had just informed me the property transfer was legally complete, under my name only. Daniel thought the house was his. He even bragged to his friends about it. Finally got the house sorted. Smart move. Right. Smart move, yes, just not for him. It was a Friday night when Daniel decided to drop the bomb. We were sitting in the living room, candles flickering, jazz music playing softly. He looked nervous. I could see the sweat glisten on his temple. "Ava, there's something I need to tell you," he began. I leaned back, swirling my wine. "Go ahead." "You deserve more than this, than me. I think it's best if we end things before it gets worse." His voice trembled with fake sincerity. I could almost applaud him for the performance. "End things," I repeated. "Yeah, I'll take care of everything. You can keep the car. I'll handle the house paperwork. You don't need to worry about anything." I looked at him, this man who had lied, cheated, plotted, and smiled so softly he looked confused. "Daniel, you're right. I deserve better." He blinked. "Wait, what?" "And don't worry about the house. It's already taken care of." He frowned, sensing something off. "What do you mean?" I stood up, set my wine glass down, and handed him the envelope, the one with the photos and a copy of the signed deed. "You might want to read the fine print next time you plan a betrayal." His face drained of color. He opened the folder, saw the photos, then the legal papers. He stammered, "What is this?" "It's your freedom, Daniel, and your mistake." He sank into the couch, shaking his head. "You can't do this." I leaned down, whispering near his ear. "I already did." The next week was chaos. He called me nonstop, begging, shouting, threatening. I didn't answer once. He even showed up at my office, but security escorted him out. His dream house was legally mine. His ex, Emily, left him once she realized he no longer had money or property to his name. He lost his job soon after when one of his work affairs surfaced. Everything he built on lies collapsed. I didn't destroy him with rage. I destroyed him with patience. Because revenge isn't fire, it's ice. It's slow, it's silent, it's deadly. Months later, I redecorated the house, my house. I repainted the walls, replaced every photograph, every reminder of him. The home that once held betrayal now held peace. I stood on the balcony, sipping coffee, watching New York come alive. And for the first time in a long time, I felt light. Love had broken me, but betrayal had rebuilt me, stronger, sharper, wiser. When Samantha called to say the final settlement was complete, I smiled and said, "Thank you for helping me remember who I am." She laughed softly. "You didn't need me for that, Ava. You always knew who you were. He just forgot." If you're listening to this right now, maybe you've been betrayed too. Maybe someone made you feel small, stupid, replaceable. But let me tell you something, you're not. Women like us, we don't just survive heartbreak, we rewrite it. We turn betrayal into blueprints. We turn pain into power. Daniel thought he was playing chess, but I was the queen all along. So to every woman who's ever been underestimated, remember this, don't get mad, get smarter. Because revenge isn't always loud. Sometimes, it's just signing your name with a smile.
If this story gave you chills, hit that like button, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen play out?